can feel it right here in your heart. So Holy Spirit, I agree. I'm ready to go. In Jesus' name. Okay. Now, discuss tonight's subjects when we have discussion time. Discuss from that perspective. You're going to go. Okay? Thank you. Now, I recognize, and we get this complaint, well, I'm sure we're going to get it. We got it the first year. What are you doing trying to cram 4 of these kinds of chapters into a 1-week read? Are you insane? Is there something wrong with you? It's like drinking from a fire hose. We can't do it. Well, I understand, but we've got lots of books like this. And my point is, I want to encourage you guys that you learn by your spirit first, not by your head. So it's about reading it and just saying, Holy Spirit, just get it in there. Haul it all in, deposit it in my spirit, and we'll talk about it later, but just get it in there. I want to get it all. And your agreement to do that allows Holy Spirit to load it in day and night. You do not have to be conscious to get revelation. Did you know that? No? Okay. Let me repeat. That was worth writing down. You do not have to be conscious to receive a revelation. You just have to be by the Spirit. You just live in the Spirit. And your spirit is a warehouse. He can deposit things in day and night. Look it up in Proverbs. Yep. God talks in the daytime. He talks at night. He uses dark sayings. He uses all sorts of communication devices to tell us things that we can't see and understand with our brains. And when we're in sync with that, then your spirit's receiving downloads all the time. Now let me prove to you that that's true. You ready? Have you ever had an experience where the very moment you're saying something to someone, you know it's profound, but you're talking to yourself and you're saying, how do I know this? I don't remember reading this. I don't remember studying where. I mean, you're not telling them that. You're just ripping it off for them, and they're going, ah! Right? Because what you're saying is profound and it's rocking their life. But inside you're going, Holy Spirit, what's going on right now? I don't remember thinking that. I didn't write that. I don't remember reading that. Where does that come from? That's that internal download process. Do you guys? Oh man, this is so exciting. Do you guys understand this is how the apostles preached in the first century? They did not have a printed New Testament. They didn't know we were going to write about them and say the things we said. They were just out there going, okay, Holy Spirit, what do you say right now? Okay. That's just what I heard. That's just what he told me. Right? But they did it with conviction because they figured it out. Their spirits are bigger than their brains. So we're being called back to that kind of spirit communication. And I'm putting weight on it by asking you to read more than you can consume. You didn't know I was up to something, did you? You thought I was being cruel and unusual. No, I'm pressing a button for you. And it's your ability to receive more than you can think through. Yeah. But it's precisely because that's how you need to learn to walk in the Spirit. Is that okay with you? Yeah. Sorry, I snuck that one in on you. I agree. I did not give you a heads up. But that's what we're doing. So here's what I want you to do with that introduction. Okay? I want you to take the next 20 minutes, so we're going to let you talk with each other until 7:30. And take 5 minutes a chapter, and just see what the Holy Spirit has to say at the table. So chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9, chapter 10. Okay? And then we'll get back together at 7:30 and find out what the Holy Spirit said, all right? Okay, here we go.
Okay, I have 2 questions. Not because I don't go slow.
Hi, buddy.
So where it says, a lot of Bible scholars, and there were a lot of tents. There were a lot of tents. What they
Just killing it. Yeah, if you come, so I disagree. Ignore it. They're not like running back.
God is brought them out where they are. They haven't God places them. No, I wasn't sorry. So this chapter, yeah, was really powerful. But my background I had this revelation 2 years ago in my world. When I read it, chapter 7, 8, 9, and 10. I said this when I was There's a guy that I think basically, he has 6 months before his heart. You got so I saw that the
No, you don't. Nothing else.
Showing where love care. I'm very encouraged by
And then you praise it for that. So healing, so like somebody like Heather parallel, we're talking about. Rather than.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Guys, you ready to talk a little bit? We're not, but it's okay. We're gonna be. So I really do. I really do recognize there was a lot more here, and we could even digest in an evening. We could take one evening per chapter, really. But granted that we have said to the Holy Spirit we're ready to go. I want to go somewhere. You guys ready to go with me? Okay, this is really critical. So in chapter 7, we have a story. We have a chapter on women rising. And Jonathan decidedly went after a huge misunderstanding in the church about half the army that's being disenfranchised and distanced from the discussion. And I really don't see any profit in filleting the church, where we came from and what we've heard all these years. Let's just let it go. But here's what I want to go get. So Holy Spirit, help me. I can't tell any given church what they should do with this chapter. But that's not my job. Right now, where my heart is this class. And I want you to know, as one of the principal leaders in this class, that I am for you. as women to reach your full potential.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay? Now, I want to do something, but it's important that you just receive it and let it happen and let the Holy Spirit do what He wants to do with it. Okay? On behalf of all the spiritual leaders in your life who were men who did not see your value, who did not understand how important you are in the discussion of the kingdom, who even maybe abused you and put you down and put you away, will you please forgive me?
Yes.
Please forgive me. I have acted out of arrogance, ignorance, and fear because I wouldn't know what to do if you became the real you. I would be threatened by that. And so I played it small. And I want to know if you'll forgive me for that. No, I can't change those stories for you, but I can redeem this moment and set this all on a brand new course. But it requires your agreement that you can forgive and start on a new course. So what say you, sisters?
Yes. Thank you, Paul.
Okay? This is really, really important. Because you need to know that this class is 100% wind in your sails. We're not shaving anything off this. Right? I want you to be everything God has ever dreamed you could be. And I want you to know that you have our support. I will get in any fight with you and go to bat. And I won't even think about it. You're worth it. You're so worth it. We need your voice. We need your balance. We need how you see your world.
Come on.
We need how you represent a side of God. We just don't have any clue about it unless we allow you to get close to us and show us what that side of God is actually like. I love it that we're finally embracing a theology that can say that maybe we've misunderstood the role of the Holy Spirit, and really, she's mom. Yeah, come on. Right? And wow, look what the revelation would be if we actually stood there and just lived out of that. Not talking about rewriting the Bible, I'm talking about understanding the heart of God. He created men and women in His image. And I want to see the part that you reveal. Yes?
Yes. Takes all of us.
So from this day forward in this class, you have permission to be as bright as you were ever created to be. And you don't have to apologize 1 minute for being brilliant here. And I'm hoping that this provides you a moment where you can get some strength in you. You can get enough affirmation inside yourself. You can take the rest of Empower to finish building your infrastructure. So when the day comes that we graduate and you step into your real world, you don't go back either. Does that make sense? If we go back, then we defer all of this on to the next generation. And we have to wait another 20 years for somebody to show up and accept responsibility for the Great Commission. I don't want to see that happen. I got just enough gas in my tank to see this generation pull it off. Yes?
Yeah.
And that's both men and women on the gas pedal.
Come on.
Is that good?
Amen.
Okay. I think we did that. Did we do that? And there will never be a day on the planet where you couldn't call me and I will be in your corner. Okay? And I would dare to say that the men in this room would say the same thing. What do you say, brothers?
Yeah, come on.
Because we're relearning and retooling ourselves as well. And we can't do it without you. We can't do it without you. So, can we partner? Can we do this together? Bring a full revelation of Papa God? Yes?
Yes.
Thank you for that. All right. So, standing there with wobbling legs and trembling spirit, I want to propose this. Page 139, if you'd all turn there. I knew that the Holy Spirit said at least share this much. And I just want us to read it together. And I want to give you a revelation out of this. Page 139, bottom of the page, conclusion. For hundreds of years, women have been oppressed and suppressed by male chauvinist church leadership. The terrible misconception is that the Bible is sexist. Unfortunately, when the Bible is read with only a surface understanding, it appears to say some negative things about women. The reality is that the Bible strongly speaks of freedom and equality between the genders. I am hopeful that through the reading of this chapter and taking a closer look together, many lives will have new freedom, deeper healing, and restoring between genders. Saying that we have just now conducted at least the first statement and exchange of forgiveness and blessing around that, can I just say, let's not be afraid to have more conversation on this.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because this is not just about saying, well, we want to deal with the past. It's also saying, but I don't know how to live in the present.
Right.
And I want to learn what you think. I want to know what my sister thinks about this moment. So that moment, I need to take Holy Spirit lead and ask her, not just assume that I know. Does this make sense to you? That out of tonight could come a brand new level of discussion because we actually take time for each other and say, oh, by the way, what do you think about that? And then listen to what they have to say. Yes?
Yes.
So this is the beginning of something. It doesn't end anything, it starts something. Let me propose to you that the reason why we have the problems we have today in our world is not the presence of evil. It's the absence of a righteous example. Did you hear that? It's not the presence of evil. Evil got stripped of all its power and authority in Colossians chapter 2 at the cross. Why the world still isn't working right is because of the absence of a righteous example. Who was supposed to bring that righteous example?
We are.
Yes. So would not the Great Commission include reconciling men and women in all positions of authority, not just the church? All positions of life and society, so that we become the example of valuing our sisters, and our sisters become examples of valuing righteous men. And we go do this together. Does this make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
And you see, we can't, not many of us are elected to public where we can like lead the whole sections of society. Most of us are just going to be society. So how do we actually do that anyway? We do it one example at a time. We start living it, Linda May and I start living it over on 57th and Kansas Street. Right? And then we come here and live it. And then we live it at the art gallery. And then we live it at when I'm doing the trucks. And we live it in the grocery store. And you do the same thing. And we win it one example at a time. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so here's unto a revolution to righteousness. Yes? It starts right here. All right. Thank you. Okay, we got about 5 minutes. Anybody want to talk about anything else? Popcorn.
Okay, Paul. It's a little bit like it's like a chauvinist teaching a sermon on unity.
That went right over.
Oh, really?
I didn't catch that, bro.
You got it? Yeah.
I'm not putting you down. I didn't get it.
Okay.
Okay.
Say it again.
A chauvinist preaching about unity. How can you do that? That's what you were saying, right?
Right.
It's an oxymoron.
Yeah, there you go. That's a big word. I just want to talk about raising the dead.
Raising the
My
dead.
gosh. I'm like, hey, I've been wanting to go to graveyards for a long time. There's somebody in here that did that, so it was like awesome. There you go. Page 176 talks about, who were we talking about here was one of the saints, and raising the guy, but how he commanded the dead man near the top in the name of the living God to arise. I just underlined it because I thought it was awesome. That's it. But that whole chapter, all the different ones, raising the dead. Cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I mean, nervous / we decided that bolting upright some dead person. But honestly, my brother died at 21. I was 22. And I just was a new Christian. He was the first one. And I went, my whole family was like, you're whacked. And I'm not, he looked like he was sleeping. And I was like, just get up. I just want you to get. So I've been on that journey for a long time, wanting to see that. Yeah, so it's quite a long time ago. And I know it's possible. I just haven't seen it yet. And I've prayed for people, and I've told friends, don't make me lay on top of you. Don't make me do it. It's not a good thing. Come on, like this fight.
So would you just graciously pray over all of us? Just call that thing up. Wake it up.
Yeah, so Father, I just declare over this group that it's in line with everything you've given us, Jesus, to raise the dead. And I just always was thinking, I've been looking for it, we've been wanting it, and I just thank you, Lord, however that looks in each person's life. Make us brave, raise it up in us, and show us where and when, and what you're intending to do as you rise this up in us. And I just thank you that we're going to see more than miracles. We're going to see the dead raised in Jesus' name.
Amen. Good. Thank you. Okay, one more comment and we'll take a break.
I have a question.
Yes.
I know we're supposed to follow the leading of the Spirit, but it almost felt like in here they were just like raising the dead anytime, anywhere. So how do we know when we're supposed to just like someone's dead and we just want to raise them?
Yeah.
I know that we're supposed to follow the Spirit. I know that, but there's still, it just feels like there's a, like she was saying, how do you know?
Yeah, an unspoken,
Yeah,
unspoken unction.
Yeah.
Well, I actually think you're asking a question and answering it at the same time, actually.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't know that. I mean, we wouldn't know unless, there's the, Jesus gave us a commission to do what? Heal the sick, preach the gospel, and raise the dead. Okay? And that part has been very scarce in the commission. demonstrated, right?
And it says in here, debt isn't
Okay.
outstanding, so
So-
we just go around raising everybody, or? No.
Sure.
That is also.
Hey, Steve, you got some clarity for us?
I don't think there's a formula, but
Right.
one of the testimonies for me is my dad's, best friend's wife was dying of cancer. And so I was moved with compassion. And out of that compassion, I was like, oh man, this isn't gonna happen. Because she had two sons that were like in their early 20s, and I just felt the heart of God for that out of compassion. And so, went over to the hotel, hospital where she was at, and she was basically like, she was in a coma. She was like 65 pounds, and they were just ready to, see her go. And so I just commanded life to come in her body, and she literally like pops up like it done, and comes back out of the coma. They call it a medical miracle. She was totally conscious for 3 days, and she said, "I saw Jesus, and I want to go home." So, but I mean, there was resurrection power. Because she lived, totally, and it just goes boing like this. Was she ready? I think she was kind of. No, but then she got to have closure with her sons and her husband, which was beautiful. So it was all, Jesus was moved with compassion. All that were sick were made whole.
Amen.
Anybody else want to chip in on that one? Yep.
Okay, so I had an experience at the conference that I went to, the Light the Fire Again. I was sitting there and Heidi Baker was speaking, and I kept smelling this wonderful fragrance. I'm looking around, I'm smelling to the left, I'm leaning to the right, leaning back, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And then I read in this book on the way home in the plane about that smell.
Yes.
In many meetings I've smelled heaven's fragrances. I'm actually experiencing the physical manifestation of God smiling. The Bible says his cheeks are like beds of spicy olein perfume. When he smiles, his cheeks release the beds of spice into the atmosphere. And it just blessed me.
Yes.
Just blessed me.
Yeah. Heaven's real close.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's right here, it's real. Yeah, yeah. Let's thank you so much, you guys, for being so flexible with a very powerful book. I hope you will read it again. Before we go to break, let me clarify something. Next Tuesday night is our leadership night, so you kind of have 2 weeks in here before we have class again. So either finish reading this book and or begin reading Equipping the Equippers. Okay? And so you've got 2 weeks to kind of do a little of both. And so I just encourage you to do that and let Holy Spirit speak to you. And let's take a break, and then when we get back, Mark has a powerful lesson for us tonight, okay? All right, bless you guys.